Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So like you all know that previously we have covered up a video of C++ in which we have learned that what are functions in C++, how you can start with functions and how many types of function we use in C++. But now in this video I will be telling you about what are functions parameter, like if we are using functions, so how we can use functions with parameters in C++ because we have used functions in Python language as well, and in that we have also learned like if we are using functions in with parameters, so how we can do that, and if we are using function to create any project, so how we are doing that. So like that we will be using functions with parameter, and we will be seeing that what difference we are getting when we are using functions separately and when we are using it with parameters. So I hope you'll be enjoying this different video here of functions parameters. So if you enjoy this video and if you understand that how we can use functions with parameters here, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit notification bell as well so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I will be uploading in future. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's get started. So now here we are on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today I'll be telling you about function parameter, like if you are using functions with parameters, so how you can use it and what is difference between if we are using normal functions and if we are using functions with parameters. So if we talk about parameters and arguments here, so thing was that in a start I was just telling you that we will be working on functions parameters, and now you will be thinking why we are learning about arguments here. So basically thing is that parameters and arguments, these both things are one. Like if we talk about parameters and argument, these both are one thing. Like if you are learning with about parameters, so you will be learning about argument, and if you are learning about arguments, so it means you are learning about parameters. That's the thing. And if we talk about both things, parameters and argument, information can be passed to functions as a parameter. Parameters act as variables inside the function. Parameters are specified after the function name. Inside the parentheses, you can add as many parameters as you want. Just separate them with a comma. Like if I'm using a function here, like I've told you, we are using this void if we are not returning any values. I don't want to return any value. That's why I'm using void here, and then I'm using normally a function name and then parentheses. But now in the previous video we have seen when we were working on functions, we were not writing anything in our parentheses, but now in parentheses I am writing parameters. Like if you are using a function with parentheses, and like if you are creating normally a function, so obviously you need to use parentheses there, but if I'm creating a function and in the parentheses I'm writing anything, that will be considered as parameters. So this is the parameter that we used in functions. If you want to use functions with parameters, so for that you need to add something in parentheses, like I am writing parameter 1 comma parameter 2 comma parameter 3. So these are the three parameters which I have created in my function. And now when I want to run this code, so for that I just need to use the simple thing which I have used previously, so that my code should be running. Like my function, I'll be calling the function simply in init main, so that my function which I have used at the top should be running. So this string f name, this is a parameter which we have used here, and that's why this thing is bold. So this is called a parameter. When the function is called, we pass along a first name which is used inside the function to print the full name. Like if I'm using this thing here, so this thing help us to print the name which we have added in our function. So when I'm calling a function, I'm writing the name of the user. So that's why when you will be printing this thing, so output you will be getting will be Liam Rafisness, Jenny Rafisness, and Jafines, because this is the last name which you are printing with all these three names which we are getting. So I think you understand how we are just using parameters here. So now what I'm going to do is I'll be just copying this example here, and I will be just moving on to Google Chrome, and here I will be changing the title as well, because today we are learning about functions parameter. So that's why I'll be writing function parameter in C++. Then I'll be pressing enter. After doing these all things, simply you have to just do one thing. Like normally I'll be just removing all these things in this file, because obviously we need to just use another thing here, like another new codes here. So that's why I'll be removing that. Then I will be writing here using namespace std simply. And after doing this thing, I will be just simply moving down, and I will be now pasting the things which we have copied. Now if we talk about how we are working these things, like how these things are working, so first of all we have normally created a function which we have seen like how we can create it in the previous video as well, but I have told you in this video as well, because we are working with functions and parameters, that's why. Or you can say functions with parameters. So now when you have normally created a function, so in that function when I'm using parenthesis, so in parenthesis I'm writing a value as string f name, and now string f name means first name. Now the first name which you will be getting in the output or in the function will be Liam, and then the second name which I have printed is Jenny, then third name which I have printed in the same function is Anja, and now with these three names I will be printing their last name as well, which is Rafisness. Now this name, you can say this name is last name of these three guys which I have written the name in my function, so that I can call these first names, and then in the end I should be getting this Rafisness name at the end of every name which I have called in my function, because I cannot do like I can not write the same name again and again in every name. So I want that this should be printed with all the names which I have called normally in my function. So that's why I have normally written this Rafisness at top, and now this name will be printed after all the names which I have printed in my function or which I have called in my function. So now I will be running this to see what output I'm getting here is. So I'll be running it, and after running you can just see I'm getting Liam Rafisness, Jenny Rafisness, Anja Rafisness. I'm getting all three names printed here, and this Rafisness, this is the last name which I am getting printed after all these names here, so that user can refer this name as a last name, and this last name is being printed by every other name which we have called in our function. So that's the thing, and that's why we use parentheses here. This is not the way to use parentheses. Like you can use parentheses in many different things. Like if I'm using different fruits name here, and if I want that fruit name should not be included with that name, so you can use their parentheses as well. And if I'm creating a list and I want that list name should be having same last name of every user which I'm writing or which I'm calling in my function, so for that also I can use the parenthesis. So this is the thing, like this is the way to use parenthesis. I hope you understand how we can do that. Like in this syntax you can also see what the example we are getting is. Like normally you need to use the void value, then you need to use the function name, and after that you need to just write the functions parameters, and that can be 3 to 4 parameters. Means like if you are using parameter with function, so it can be 3 parameters which you can use, not more than 3 you can use. So that's the thing, like if you're using parameter, it should be only 3 parameters which you should be using with your function. If you're using more than 3 parameters here, so it will be really problem for you. So that's why you have to use like 3 parameters here. So I hope you understand how we are working with that. So just I hope you understand how we are working with parameters and arguments here in C++. So if you haven't enjoyed this video, if you understand how we are working with parameters and arguments here, so remember to hit a like to this video, and like if you're new on this channel and if you want to see more videos like that here, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell as well, so you can get the notifications of all my videos which I will be uploading in future. Because this was really simple video, in this video I just need to confirm, or I just need to tell you that if you are working with functions and if you don't know about parameters, so that's not good thing. So that's why I have just created this video to tell you about parameters, how many types of parameters you can use, how you can use parameters, why you can use, and why you have to use. So that's the example which I have told you, that if you want to write a last name with different first names, so you can do that here. So just I'll be meeting in next project or in next tutorial of C++ from start, and I hope you'll be enjoying that as well. So for today, goodbye.